Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to yet another video on the Football Fanatic channel. And where have I been? It has been a while, but the answers to why are simply in the links in the description. I've been doing a lot of social media work, and that's truly just because football has just been giving us so little in this summer break hiatus, where we're not seeing any big matches being played, any big signings being made. But now football is back. I mean, big players are moving all over the place. We are seeing some big matches being played in pre-season. I have just released a new podcast episode with a Liverpool fan previewing the 22-23 season that the Reds are going to face obviously this year. Make sure to check that out. But today we're going to be introducing a new series, something completely new called the FPL Roundup for the FPL fans and for FPL fans only. We're just going to be covering on a weekly basis everything you need to know about Fantasy Premier League, starting with today's video, the FPL Roundup's very own Game Week 1 checkpoint. Every few game weeks, I will be checking on all of you guys and showing you what my team is looking like and hopefully what your team should be looking like ahead of this FPL season. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are on the main Fantasy Premier League website and we've got that sweet 100 mil and we've got 0 out of 15 players selected obviously. Don't worry, I'm not going to make this up as I go along. I've already drafted the players and know what I'm going to pick. So, in goal, bit cliche, but Edouard Mendy has to be in there. I mean, this guy is already a brick wall himself. And with Chelsea recruiting another brick wall in the form of Kalidou Koulibaly, his fellow Senegalese, coming in, he's going to bring the same tenacity and aggression that Rudiger brought in and now has left to Real Madrid. I think Koulibaly is a great signing for Chelsea, and with the signing of Sterling as well, expect Chelsea to dominate in the Premier League this season. Moving on, you don't want another Edouard Mendy type of player. Don't go for someone expensive in the secondary goalkeeper because they're obviously going to be on the bench. Go for someone who's rock bottom in price but high stars in minutes and quality. Gazzaniga is the one for me. Playing for Fulham, the newly promoted side, I can see Gazzaniga making a lot of shot stops and a lot of penalty saves. And I just think Gazzaniga is such a great goalkeeper. I don't know why Tottenham let him go, but that's just the way it is. Gazzaniga, 4 million, has to be in there. Moving on, Trent Alexander-Arnold, what a player he truly is. I mean, guys, he is the FPL king. Goals, assists, you name it, set pieces, clean sheets, plays for Liverpool. He's everything you need in a defender. He's an absolute must. João Cancelo, same reasons. Plays for City, which is a lot better for clean sheet points as well. And he brings in the same qualities as Trent. Again, I'm repeating myself with Reece James. I mean, he's obviously got to be in there as well. 6 million is a very good price for him. I don't know why they haven't made him more expensive because he's a very sought out player. Now, this is looking very weird because I'm just going in the line, but this is honestly just the perfect defense in my opinion. Perisic has to be in there. I'll tell you why. This is, as a defender, it really did surprise a lot of people building their FPL teams because we obviously know he is a very attacking player. We saw it in the World Cup final with Croatia. We saw it when he played in the Serie A, when he played in the Bundesliga. Now, coming into the Prem, how is his tempo going to be? Is he going to be able to, suit the intensity? Will he crack under pressure? We'll have to wait and see. But this guy is experienced. This guy is a football veteran, very underrated, and I really do believe he's going to get a lot of points, and he'll be like Marcos Alonso this season. Now, moving on, we've got Cash, Tomiyasu, or Trippier. I'd stay away from Tomiyasu because he's only going to realistically bring you clean sheet points. He's not really an assist or goal type of player, and you want to get as much points as possible. That is why, for me, Matty Cash and Kieran Trippier are going to be the most exciting picks. Now, it's obviously weird that I said and Trippier because I only have 5 slots. Let me explain. Matty Cash, look at his fixtures, his first 3 fixtures. Bournemouth away, very easy for Aston Villa, who are going to be hungry, and Bournemouth, who are obviously coming in with inexperience after being out of the Prem for a very long time. Everton at home, team who nearly got relegated last season, he's going to feast on them. Crystal Palace away, not that easy, but not that difficult as well. Matty Cash is a very attacking output player. I can really see him bursting through the lines, getting the goals, getting the assists. I mean, how many times last season was Matty Cash involved in the goal? So many times, you can't even count. Matty Cash is a brilliant option for me. Now, when it gets tough, when he plays against the Liverpools, the Cities, the Arsenals, the Spurs, the United, and not really the United, but the Arsenals, the Cities, it obviously isn't the great option. But that's where Kieran Trippier comes in. If you look at his fixtures, it ties in perfectly. He obviously does have that City game when Matty Cash has an easy game, but then you bring him in here against Wolves. He will have to place against Liverpool, unfortunately, but after that, I mean, it's easy for Newcastle, who are obviously looking strong themselves. And don't underestimate Newcastle this season with their new signings, like Sven Botman, who's also a really good signing for you, or even the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, who we will touch on later. Moving on, we have got Salah, FPL GOAT, most expensive player for a reason. He's easily the king of FPL and has been for a very long time. Let me know in the comments down below, if you haven't picked Salah, what is your team looking like? You've obviously got the likes of Son, you've obviously got the likes of Luis Diaz. Let me know if you haven't got Salah. I'd like to see your team because that is pretty unique. Now, moving on, Luis Diaz, as I just mentioned, has to be in your team because this guy is very explosive, very pacey, very direct as well. I mean, playing for Liverpool in this team, you're only going to get better. Playing with Nunes, who they've just brought in, Diaz is going to have a field day of assists. Nunes is a very good poacher, and I think he's going to work well with his fellow ex-Portuguese Premier League player. Next, moving on, we've got Bruno Guimaraes, a Brazilian who plays for Newcastle, had a very good ending to the Premier League last season, scoring a lot of goals. I could pick Pedro Neto, but looking at Wolves, the way they play, I mean, they are very defensive, and you know, he has got easy fixtures. I am second guessing myself on my own video. You know what? I'd say this is a bit of a Cash and Trippier situation as well. When things get tough for Bruno, like in the third match, in the third game week, bring in Neto, see how you fare. I'd say switch between these two and maybe use the extra 0.5 to bring in that player who's tearing up in the Prem in a few weeks' time. We'll have to wait and see. Now, moving on, you have to be careful here. Pick the right 4.5s. Don't pick any 4.5 because one of these 4.5s might come in for your injured player and tear up the Prem. And I'm talking about Andreas Pereira. Has to be in there. And what a middle name, by the way. Holgebom. That's crazy. I mean, he's Brazilian, so I wouldn't expect that. But Andreas Pereira going to Fulham, very creative. Obviously going to replace Fabio Carvalho, who's moved to Liverpool. I think he's a great option for 4.5. Definitely buy into him. Then we've obviously got another 4.5 in the form of, where is he? There he is. Jacob Murphy. I was about to say Connor Murphy. Jacob Murphy coming in for Newcastle. I mean, this guy is a pretty attacking player as well himself. He's not going to get the most minutes. He won't start games necessarily game after game, week after week, but he'll definitely come off the bench. And in the rare case that any of these demons in Salah or Diaz get injured, yes, you will have to bring him in. He might be a good alternative for Bruno, to be honest. Neto as well, as I already said. Let's look at the other options. I mean, you've got Son. You could switch him with Salah. I mean, these two are pretty replicated. They're both amazing. De Bruyne I'd stay away from because if he doesn't get an assist or a goal, he usually won't really perform well. I mean, that is the most Michael Owen quote ever. I don't know why I've said that, but realistically, De Bruyne isn't always among the goals or assists, no matter how good he is. Marcus Rashford away, any United player, I'd say stay away from them until we see how Ten Hag fares with this United team. Now, moving on to the attack. This is where it gets serious. Harry Kane or Erling Haaland? But for now, I'm going to say none. Gabriel Jesus has to be in there. First game for Arsenal, 2 goals on his debut against Nuremberg. I know, pretty easy game, preseason friendly, but Jesus for me, brilliant for 8 million. You have to go for him in my opinion. You could either also remove him and instead of having Jesus and one of Haaland and or Kane, you could have Diaz and obviously Heung-min Son. But that's just my opinion. I am going to go for Gabriel Jesus and I'm also going to go for Harry Kane. I am going to pick Kane over Haaland because of simply the fixtures and the fact that Haaland is coming in to obviously a new league, a new team. Will he have the Ronaldo effect where he settles in and bangs 2 goals on his debut? We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's much less risky to bring in Harry Kane and potentially captain him as he plays Southampton at home, who are obviously not good at all compared to the likes of, you know, Wolves or even West Ham. Southampton haven't shown any progress. I think Harry Kane is going to have a field day against them, and that is why he's probably going to be my captain. And then moving on, you've got 2 4.5s here that are pretty highly selected. Greenwood is not Mason Greenwood, don't worry, don't get my channel banned, but Sam Greenwood is obviously the better pick in terms of minutes. However, if you guys don't know, if a 4.5 has this type of selection rate, they will lower his price. So don't select him for now. Keep Taylor for now, and when Greenwood obviously goes down, put in Greenwood for Taylor, and that's just giving you an extra 0.2, which you could use to bring in a player who tears up the Prem. We'll have to wait and see who that might be, but this, guys, is for me the best team that you can make. Now, let me show you an alternate team that I think is obviously another team that you could put on your mind. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are ready for draft 2. We are back, and this is obviously a way smaller budget. What has happened here? It's because we have kept most of the cornerstones plus David Rea. This guy has to be in the team for draft 2. You could choose any other 4.5 keeper as well. I mean, you've got Sanchez in there. I would stick with either Raya or Sanchez, hence why they've got very similar percentage rates. For me, I'm going to go for Raya because I think Brentford are very good defensively. Brighton too, but Brentford are probably going to be more defensive to the point where Raya will probably be man of the match on a lot of occasions for nil-nils, for clean sheets. So for me, Raya is in the team. If you need a 4 mil player in the defense, please don't forget Nico Williams. I am begging you, don't be one of those guys who are going to think in the future, I didn't pick him and now I wish I picked him because he's doubled up in price. This might be one of the best budget buys in the game right now. Nico Williams going to Nottingham. He's going to start every game, very attacking, learned from Trent to be honest. I think he has to be in the team. Now, let's move on with draft 2. We have got the likes of Cancelo, James Presic, not going to go for any of them. Matty Cash is in the team, and he's going to be paired up with the man he was interchangeable with in the first draft, Kieran Trippier. Now, obviously, as you can see, we are trimming down the price, and that is because of these 4 spots right here. It is going to be a bit insane, but to complete the final puzzle of the piece, where is he? No way. 3.6% for James Justin. That is unreal. I know selection rate doesn't really matter, but 3.6% of people are picking this man. Guys, if you need a 4.5 defender in your team, please get James Justin. Look, this guy got injured in, I believe, game week 4 of last season, and he already got 29 points. He plays for Leicester, very attacking, no European football. He's definitely going to be getting a lot of minutes, probably their first choice left back as well. James Justin is a must-have if you need a 4.5er. Please get him in your team. I cannot believe he's that slept on. That is unreal. Okay, moving on. Now, I told you it's going to be expensive. Luis Diaz in, Bruno Gomares in, Pedro Neto in, and the man himself, Heung-min Son in. I'd call this draft the Son draft. Anything for Son draft, because honestly, it is pretty similar to draft 1. However, you've got a lot more budget buys to make up for the Korean himself, probably the best player in the Premier League alongside Mo Salah right now. And to cap it off, you can either pick Haaland or Kane. I've already said my reasons to why I picked Kane. So that is draft number 2. Let me know in the comments down below which draft you believe is better, draft 1 or draft 2. And let me also know your team in the comments down below. I'd love to see everyone's ideas, everyone's unique teams, and find out who's got the best team in my comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. We are so close, guys, to reaching our goal of 100 subscribers, so help us towards that. And don't forget to join my league. The code will be in the link in the description, and will also be an auto join link just in case the code doesn't for some reason work. Thank you guys so much for watching yet again. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.